Hi folks, I'm Paul Meixner and welcome to Thunderpunk Radio. So there's a few reasons I have this big stupid grin on my face. The first reason is this is like take 37 and that's it. You ain't getting no more. And I realize that's a double negative, but you know what I'm saying. I'm not doing anymore. We're doing this in one take, no jump cuts. It's just gonna, there's an So every or I give you, or like if I burp because I just drank half a sugar-free Red Bull and then pumped out a bunch of push-ups, just shaking up all that carbonation inside my body, which is a terrible thing to do right before I film the very first video we're putting on Thunderpunk Radio. If that happens, I'm gonna owe you push-ups. We'll say 5 push-ups per an 5 push-ups per an and like we'll say 10 push-ups per a burp because that's like disgusting and nobody signed up to deal with that. So I'll pay for it. And I'll post it here or on the Instagram or both. We'll figure it out, but it'll happen. What is Thunderpunk Radio? Thunderpunk Radio is 2 things. The first thing is a long format podcast co-hosted with my good buddy Flirt Cheap. That's right, folks. He's so cool, he has his own alias. If I had to describe Flirt Cheap, I would describe him as a highly intelligent and very perceptive young man that has a valuable and unique understanding and perspective of the world. If you want to get a better idea of that and what he's bringing to the table, check out his Instagram at FlirtCheap. Super dope Instagram posts. Like, the dude is wise beyond his years. It's kind of annoying, actually, how wise beyond his years he is. That whippersnapper. So he and I are going to be talking about a particular subject, just him and I. I don't think we're going to do any push-ups for clearing the throat. Maybe I'll throw in some bonus push-ups. We're going to be talking about a particular subject, but we're also going to have guests on. And sometimes it's just going to be a guest and I, and sometimes it's just going to be Flirt and a guest. But either way, it's going to be delicious and nutritious information for your bodacious brain, and hopefully it'll be entertaining too. The next thing that Thunderpunk Radio is a series of educational videos. So I've got a unique set of skills. I've got those skills, but I don't have all the skills. So not only am I going to be teaching you things, but I'm going to be bringing on experts in their field, and sometimes experts in my field, so that way they can reteach you something in a different way than I've taught you, because everybody learns differently. Both the podcast and the videos are going to be kind of centered around the ideas of freedom and how to be more free, and specifically self-reliance, self-defense. I feel a burp coming on. It's going to be like 10 push-ups, probably up to like 15, 20 already. Self-defense, self-reliance, freedom, and responsibility. You can't have freedom without responsibility, and in order to gain responsibility, you need to have the freedom to screw something up or make it better or do it right, So, that was 10 more push-ups. We're going to see how many we got. I'm going to be jacked by the time this is over. All right. So, self-reliance. What type of stuff are we going to be teaching about self-reliance? And what do I mean by self-reliance? Relying on oneself. So what's like the most important thing that you need now? Like air, oxygen. Do you know how to do the Heimlich maneuver? Do you know how to do it to a kid? What about a baby? What about your dog? Do you know how to do it? Because I'll teach you how. I'm going to teach you how. It's important to know this stuff, and it's real basic skills, so I'm going to show you how. Next most important thing. Blood. You need blood to carry all that oxygen to your lovely organs. So we're going to be doing Stop the Bleed courses and classes, and we're just going to give it to you. You can have it. You can just have it and absorb it and learn it and be it and do it. So the other day I had to put a tourniquet on a dude. I was visiting my buddy Michael Broderick, who is going to be on this. He's a working actor, a great American, great family guy, just an all-around, great dude. And I was visiting him because he's such a great dude, and there was a dude outside his house that cut his arm open with a chainsaw, and I had to throw a tourniquet on him. And the fire department arrived later, and they were like, heck yeah, man, we love it that civilians can do this stuff. We wish more civilians could, and I wish that more civilians could too. So I'm going to show you. And I'm also going to have medics and paramedics and combat medics on. And a lot of the videos are going to be just short and to the point, so that way you can consume them, consume, and learn and then do. Stop the bleed. We're not going to go over all the bodily functions, but we're going to teach trauma care that you are totally capable of doing. What else do we got? Shelter. Most people that are lost and not found, that pass away, unfortunately, they die due to exposure. So we're going to teach you how to make survival shelters. But not just that. I am on a homestead. In my house, in a homestead, and it's crazy. I just got here and the homestead's just starting, so we're going to teach you how to build animal shelters. We're going to teach you how to improve your own shelter. Do you know how to... that was some push-ups. Do you know how to change out an outlet? I'm going to show you. Do you want to know how to change out your electrical panel? I got to do it, so I'm going to show you. Shelter. We're going to teach you a lot of different fun stuff about shelters. Shelter is important. Food and water. Do you know how to procure your own food? I'm going to be building a chicken coop. I'm going to film that and show you. When I build my chicken coop, I'm getting chickens and I'm getting eggs. I love eggs. I eat a lot of eggs. I can't wait to eat my own eggs. So I'm avoiding saying or ah. If I use it as an example, it doesn't count, right? If it's not a filler word, okay, cool. We're going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you how to do the goats thing. I'm going to show you how to do, I don't want goats, but I need goats to clear the woods so I can have pigs and they'll clear the woods more so I can plant grass and have my Dexter cattle. We're not clearing all the woods, just 1.5 acres. That's it. I only need 2 acres for 4 Dexter cattle because they're miniature cattle. 1 for milk and the rest for meat. It's going to be great. Sheep, quail, chickens, pigs, goats, and Dexter cattle. That's it. That's all we're doing. No more. But we'll have videos on other stuff from other people for you. So food, water. Water's super important. Do you know how to purify water? Do you know how to get safe water if there's a natural disaster? If there's a flood, there's water everywhere, but is it good to drink? We're going to show you how to do all that stuff and how to be prepared for a disaster, how to be prepared for a ruck march, all these fun things. I'm getting all spastic because I'm excited. I want to get through this. Take 37, folks. Self-defense. We're going to talk about self-defense. Wait, we're going to go back to self-reliance. Here's another thing about self-reliance. Community. You can't do it alone. Not going to happen. You can't do it alone. You need community. So how do we build community, right? I want to talk about that. We're going to have a bunch of videos on how to better your community. Have a self-reliant community where you can rely on your neighbors and they can rely on you, which ultimately makes everyone stronger. And it doesn't matter what community you're in. It doesn't matter if you're in a wonderful neighborhood or you're in the hood. And it doesn't matter what kind of hood, if you're in like, Appalachia, hood, or like Detroit. We're going to talk to people that are bettering their community and building stronger communities, and we're going to relay that information to you so that way you can do the same thing. Because community is important. Right now, 2022, things are getting decisive, man. Or divisive. I think divisive is the right word. And I don't like that. I would like to... there's some more push-ups. I would like to bring us back together. And you start with you. And after you got you start with your family and friends. And after you got your family and friends, you start with your neighbors. And after your neighbors are good, you expand out. And this works. It really works. But you got to start at the bottom and work your way up. And we're going to show you how to do that because community is so important. What else do we got here? Self-reliance. Yeah, I basically want to talk about community. There's a lot of really, really cool and simple ways to build community. And I can't wait to make these videos and show you about it. But we got to keep this short and we got to move on. Self-defense. So we're going to break down multiple aspects of self-defense, starting with just how to avoid conflict to begin with, how to de-escalate, how to pay attention and be aware so that way you don't even have to encounter violence or assault or just not good things, right? And we're talking about animal predators and human predators, the most dangerous predator of them all. I'm also going to teach, there's 2 basic types of fighting, striking and grappling. So we're going to teach punches, jabs, hand strikes, and foot strikes. I just like the phrase foot strikes. Kicks. We're going to teach basic moves. We're going to break them down, show them from multiple angles. Not just me. I'm going to have instructors on. I'm going to have different types of martial artists, mixed martial artists, jiu-jitsu experts. Oh, that's another burp. That's like 10 more push-ups. Kickboxing, karate, you name it, we're bringing it to you. So that way you can learn all these basic moves and try them on your own. We're still going to recommend you take a class, just like all the other stuff. But we're going to do it so that way you can learn and practice on your own. And which means when you finally take a class, you'll get so much more out of it. Next, weapons. Self-defense. Weapons. So, yeah, mace, firearms, all that other stuff. But we're going to do bow staff. A lot of people don't realize how capable a bow staff is. Plus, everybody has access to one. Lots of places, firearms or even mace, different forms of tools that help with self-defense are highly restricted. So we're going to start with bow staff. I actually have some real world practical experience effing sons of bees up with bow staff type devices. So we're going to share that. I can teach a 12-year-old how to mess up a fully grown adult with a bow staff. And like I said, everybody's got a broom. Everybody's got a big stick lying around. You can get a hold of these things. I think it's important. We're going to talk about mace and different types of mace. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of things like tasers and other self-defense devices. But we're going to spend a lot of time focusing on firearms. And the reason we're going to spend a lot of time focusing on firearms is that firearms are a piece of technology that are equalizers. And right now, even though they've I guess only been around for a few hundred years, but they haven't changed much. They're getting, they're fine-tuning right now, but they're just pieces of technology that mitigate inequality. And let me explain. I'm a big dude, 6'1", like 230-ish, in fairly good shape. Lots of experience with martial arts and weapons and all that stuff. I'm a pretty capable dude. If I were to go up against a 5'1", 100-pound person in like a brawl, doesn't matter how much training they have. If we have the same amount of training roughly, I'm going to win because I'm bigger, I'm stronger. It's just physics. It's hard to argue with raw power, and that's not fair. But technology mitigates our inequalities. If I take that person and give them 6 months of firearms training, they now have equal defensive power to me. It's just a piece of technology that mitigated an inequality. So whether or not you like firearms, they exist, and they are the preeminent piece of technology that allows for equality of defense. So we're going to talk about a lot about firearms. So weapons, okay. Next, I'm really excited. We're going to be doing a series on a modern day Minuteman. And when I say Minuteman, I don't mean, ugh, man, ugh. No, I mean like man is in all mankind. Man, woman, whatever the heck falls in between in 2022. If you are a unicorn kin but to believe in freedom and responsibility, I will teach you how to set up a patrol base. A Minuteman is someone that within minutes can be called up to serve their community. Now, traditionally, we think of like the Revolutionary War. Within minutes, they had their own gear and they went to defend, fight, right? But it's not just fight. House fires happen. Flash floods happen. I grew up in tornado country. Then I lived in like earthquake, freaking forest fire that went into the city and caused evacuations in parts of the city country. So natural disasters happen. Accidents happen. Train derailments happen. There's more push-ups. In Wisconsin, there was a train derailment. I believe it was in Wisconsin where there was like chemicals leached into like this neighborhood, and they called in the National Guard to retrieve everybody's pets. Everybody evacuated, but there were still people that left pets in their homes because they didn't have time to go get them, or they weren't allowed back in because they were at work when it happened. And so the National Guard rolled in with their like nuclear, biological, chemical, set up filters in their APCs, armored personnel carriers, these like mini little tank things without guns, and they rescued all these pets. Stuff happens, folks. And I believe a Minuteman should have basic skills when it comes to life. More push-ups. Trauma care, first aid, self-defense, community defense, firefighting. One of my best friends is a firefighter. I'm going to try to convince him to come on and give advice that he thinks every civilian should have in order to prevent fires from happening in their home and on their property and whatnot, and how to fight them and how to respond if their neighbor's house is on fire. We're going to fill you in with all that stuff. Do you like these like pauses where I'm like, don't say don't say So, Minuteman, gear. A lot of the Minuteman stuff is going to be focused on becoming a citizen soldier, though, a infantryman, so to speak. It's going to focus on infantry skills. And gear is the fun part. Gear is a lot of fun. It's cool. I'm a bit of a gear queer. That's the expression for people that are into gear. But all the cool gear and expensive and high-speed Gucci stuff, it could be the best in the world, won't matter unless you have skills. So I am going to review gear. I am going to talk about it. There's always going to be like, I think this stuff is the best, but also if you're on a budget, you can use this stuff too. I'm always going to give examples because I don't like spending other people's money. I'm too good at spending my own, and I don't want to spend other people's. And I know everybody's got budgets. People have kids. People have responsibilities. a tree fell on your garage, you got to fix that now. And like, I understand. The thing is, I think every American should have this gear. Every American of sound mind and sound heart should be capable to come to the aid of their fellow man, right? Their family, their neighbors, their community, their country. And so if you haven't thought about this for a while and you have all this gear to assemble, that's like a lot. If you start to assemble it piece by piece, you can budget it out. And so I'm always going to give a budget option when it comes to gear. I'm going to be interviewing gear manufacturers, reviewing gear, talking to people about gear, testing it, giving reviews. I don't know if I said that or not already. But I'm going to try not to focus as much on that as I am skill set and the ability to use said gear. So when it comes to skills, I'm going to teach basic infantry skills, basic survival skills, basic trauma, emergency medical care skills, some firefighting stuff, some like flood, natural disaster type stuff. And all those come into skills. I don't know a lot of people teaching basic infantry skills right now. They are out there, and I think it's going to be growing. But I think every man should know how to set up a patrol base. I really do. I think every man should know how to set up a patrol base, and I think every woman that wants to should also learn that. It's just what I believe, and, that's what I believe. So we're going to teach you how to do that. We're going to teach you how to set up a L-shaped ambush. We're going to teach you how to patrol, how to use hand signals, the 3 fighting positions, standing, kneeling, prone. I feel like not enough people focus on the prone when fighting with the rifle. We're going to teach basic marksmanship, right? Sight picture, grip, trigger control, all that fun stuff. We're going to teach handling, all right? Proper handling. We're going to teach tactics. Those are 3 different things, and you can't fight without those 3 things, but they are 3 different things. We're going to teach tactics, handling, and marksmanship. We're going to teach, where am I? Let me look at my notes quick. So skills, we're still on skills. I got to remember all these skills that I'm doing. I'm going to break down things like, here's a soldier's manual of common tasks. This is level 1. We're going to do all the levels, but we're going to do the stuff that's relevant for you guys. I'm not going to teach you how to set up an AT4. Most people don't have access currently to an AT4, and you can look it up. It's super simple. But I'm going to teach you how to dig a foxhole. I'm going to dig a foxhole on my property, and I'm going to film it, and I'm going to show you what to do and why. Well, how is that relevant? There are sons of guns right now in Ukraine that were months ago civilians, now living in trenches, waiting for the opportunity to fight to defend their country. Knowing how to dig a foxhole, knowing how to set up a patrol base, all of these things are important, and I'm going to teach you how to do them. Communication. So, in a natural disaster, whether or not you're into this Minuteman stuff, natural disasters happen everywhere. Every part of our country, every part of the world has its own thing. I grew up in tornado country, and then again, I was living in earthquake and forest fire country. As I've said, there's hurricane places. Right now, there's a hurricane headed toward Florida as I make this video. Communication is important. And if cell phone towers, the network goes down, your cell phone is no longer a communication device. If there's no internet and there's no networks, your cell phone, almost all of them, do not produce their own signal. Doesn't mean they're still not valuable for storing PDFs and notes and stuff like that. It's a camera, but that's it. You don't have a communication device anymore. So I'm going to talk about comms. And this is good, like I said, for people that aren't into firearms, that aren't into this cool tactical stuff. But this is super important for people that are into cool tactical stuff. Oh, that's 10 more push-ups. So this is a GMRS radio. I'm going to do separate videos. Okay, we're good. I'm going to do separate videos on MERS, GMRS, ham or amateur radio, CB radio, and whatever else is out there, options for civilians to use. I'm going to break down the organization. I'm going to give recommendations on what I recommend, and I'm also going to recommend other media channels, such as Not a Rubicon. There's more push-ups. Man, I'm going to be jacked by the time I'm done with this. This is great, right? This is wonderful corrective training that I'm going to be doing for all these ums and ahs. Communication. I'm going to teach you how to use communications at the squad level. So that's you and your buddies. I'm going to teach you how to use these communications fire team to fire team within the same squad. Platoon level. That's when you get 40 dudes around or 20 or whatever. If you have more than one squad, you got a platoon. Yay. company level. I'm also going to teach you how to use these communications amongst your family. Some of this stuff is complicated, some of it's not. Some of the people that want communications either don't have the time or the interest in learning super complicated stuff. So I'm going to give you the options. So that way you can still communicate with your group, your family, your neighborhood in case of an emergency or disaster. And you know what else these are fun for? Road trips. Road trips, camping, going to the amusement park, music festival. So these skills transfer to everyday life. And I'm going to try to incorporate it into everyday life as much as possible. Okay, communications. Organization. Again, we're talking about the Minuteman stuff. We have these guys in California that were taking our classes, and there are these jiu-jitsu guys. And at first it was just 2 of them, and they started multiplying. And these guys kept bringing more dudes from their jiu-jitsu school. And sometimes chicks, sometimes they're like 14-year-old daughter, teaching their 14-year-old daughter how to shoot was awesome. But it's usually the dudes. And their group is getting bigger and bigger, and now I'm like harassing them. Hey man, get radios. And then I'm harassing my buddy Vince. We got to do a patrol class. And I think those guys want to do the patrol class. They have this awesome group of people. And everybody's afraid of the word militia. And I understand why. And you don't have to form a militia. There's a lot of positives and negatives and, rumors and, stereotypes and all this stuff surrounding it. To me, if you're an American or if you're a Westerner or if you're a human, I think you should be able to protect your community and your country. I think you should be able to come to people's aid. And it's easier to do it if you're organized within a group. And it's easier to train if you enjoy training with people that you like. So I'm going to give examples and tips and information on how to get more of your buddies into training. By the way, Airsoft is a great, not everything's perfect about it, but overall it's a great asset and fun thing to do to test your training and test your gear and your stamina and everything like that. But I'm going to help out with getting more people into this so that way you have a group, a community that you can rely on. Next, fitness. Fitness. This is perfect. So much like my homestead that I'm super excited about that's just starting out and you get to watch the homestead flourish and grow from nothing, you're going to watch my fitness. I finally just started working out after taking too long off. And for most of my life, I've been rather physically fit. I've done Ironmans, used to coach swimming. I've always wanted to be in good enough shape to like carry 120 pounds, 20 miles uphill, and be able to hit dudes with other dudes. I was a machine gunner and a rifleman, sort of. I was finally in leadership by the time I started carrying a rifle. But I have some combat experience, a little bit. I have tours under my belt, lots of patrolling and all this other fun stuff. So I have a good understanding of what combat fitness is like. And who does combat fitness benefit? If you're a construction worker, a farmer, a triathlete, an outdoorsman, a stay-at-home dad, stay-at-home mom, a working dad or mom, everybody. It helps everybody. And if you're into bodybuilding, great. Do you have enough cardio to sustain yourself in a fight and protect your family? Because you need it. Focus on your bodybuilding, but make sure you have enough stamina to keep your cool and outlast the fight. Okay? If you're super into triathlon, well, that's great because you're already pretty close. Now you just need to be able to carry something heavy on your back. I'm going to be doing workouts. And like I said, it's fun because I'm kind of like morphing out of dad bod to fitness god, right? When I got to back it up, I said it and I'm putting it out there. I'm going to be doing workouts and it'll be like, the jazzercise videos. I'm not going to be jazzercising. But you can do the workout along with me. I'm going to try to do some cool workouts with minimal equipment. Lately, at the new house, I love saying my house, I've been working out with 250 cal ammo cans and a big rock. Everybody can find a big rock or something heavy to do workouts with, okay? Like I said, I'm always going to be doing a budget option and we're going to be doing like the best equipment possible. I'm going to try to do both. So I'm going to be doing workouts. I'm going to be posting them. Maybe we'll do something like Fitness Fridays. I got a lot on my plate right now, but we'll see how I can like put this out there. And of course, the more support for this, the better it'll go, but don't support it until I start putting out some good stuff. I'll say that right now. If you got some money that you want to donate, we're going to set up I'm getting off track here. I'm supposed to be focused on, we're going to set up some things, but first, like, give it to a cool charity. Like, make me work for it. Make me put out some cool content first. And good old Flirty McGirt. So, fitness. I'd like to help. I'm going to bring in fitness experts, just like everything else. We're going to have some really cool videos. We're going to take some suggestions. And yeah, I'm super stoked about it. Okay, what are we at? 25. Holy moly, man. So this is the intro video. It's going to be long. Hopefully my charming, dashing good looks and charming, entertaining personality will keep you in it. It's probably just my manic energy. Like, what's he going to do next? Last thing we're going to talk about, and something I want to focus on, is philosophy. Well, that's not the last thing. The last thing's written underneath here. It's kind of embarrassing. I'm going to be vulnerable for a minute. So I'm going to talk about something that isn't for everyone. All this other stuff I'm making videos about is for everyone. This last thing, well, not this last thing, but this one thing that I'm about to talk about, I'm trying not to burp because I don't want to do any more push-ups for you guys. Nope, it's happening. All right, that's more push-ups. I'm going to have to watch this and tally them up. So, I'm going to talk about philosophy. I'm going to ADD backtrack for this. Ooh, foreshadowing. I'm going to backtrack real quick. We're going to talk about philosophy. I love philosophy, and I think it's important. We're going to break it down so people that aren't really interested in it can kind of get an understanding, but then we're going to go deep. We're going to go like super deep, both in the podcast and in the videos for the people that like love this stuff. I think philosophy is important. I think it is like exercise for your soul. Discipline. These are the two things. These are the two things. The discipline videos are going to be for everybody. I'm going to be basically documenting my journey on becoming more disciplined. I've gone through periods in my life with extreme discipline and periods of the opposite of that. And the results of which are plainly obvious to me. So we're going to talk about that. And this last thing, this is the thing that isn't for everybody. We're going to talk about ADHD and ADD. The majority of videos we're posting are educational, skill set, Minuteman, self-reliant, homesteading, this old house, this old garage type stuff, vehicle maintenance, all this. But I am going to take some serious time and effort and share some information on ADHD and ADD. The reason I use the acronyms is because I don't believe it's a disorder. It's kind of weird, right? It's not a disability either. But it is an obstacle. Attention deficit disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. A lot of the medical information out there on it is not true. And a lot of the information out there on it is. And if you don't have it, like legitimately, seriously have it, and if you don't love someone and know someone intimately, like care about this person and spend time with them that has it severely, these videos aren't going to be for you. And you can tag along, you can watch, but a lot of people aren't going to understand them. Because a lot of people, and I understand, and a lot of us that have it, it's like, why don't you just do the thing? We can't. I mean, you can do the thing, but you can't just do the thing. You can't just do the thing. Well, just remember. Well, I can't just remember. So you have to come up with other methods to do the things that everybody else can do. You know, some people like sugarcoat it and say like, oh, ADD is a gift. It's a gift. No, it's not a gift. It's not. And if you are suffering from this, if you are dealing with it, you know it's not a gift. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not. It's a curse. That's 100% accurate. It's a curse until you turn it into a superpower. And I'm going to help you do that. I've done it before, and I'm doing it some more. But I'm going to help you do it. This is going to be a do what I say, not what I do, hopefully do what I do thing. But 100% you can turn into a superpower. Some of the most creative, productive people in the world have this thing that we're talking about. And also some of the least productive, in prison, life is a disaster people have it too. And those are the people that couldn't figure out how to do it. I'm fortunate to be born in the time that I have with the access to information that I have and to have the hyper focus on the things that I'm interested in and the just will to like help other people. Maybe so I don't have to help myself, but now I'm going to try to do the both at the same time. We're going to talk about it because I think it's really important and I think it's going to help me. So maybe I'm being a little selfish, but we're going to talk about ADD and ADHD and just different things to mitigate and to not just survive with it, but thrive with it, to turn it into a superpower. So a recap real quick. Welcome to Thunderpunk Radio, folks. Thank you for sticking through all of that. I think this is it. I think this is the one that's going up. We got a podcast with good old Flirt Cheap. Check him out on Instagram. Check out his Substack. I'm Mav11B on Instagram. I like the Instagrams. I like it too much. This is going up on Rumble. This is going up on YouTube. This is going to go up on definitely BitChute, probably Odyssey. I'm going to have to ask my buddy Fit and Fire a little bit about that one. But it's going to be a multi-platform show media thing, educational videos. And I would really like your involvement. Once I put more, I think I said this already, but once I put more content up, I'm going to throw up Patreon. Right now, we do have a subscribe star for like $5. That's it, because I think that's all you can set it. The reason we're doing both is because Patreon is a little, politics. Not really going to deal with a lot of politics in here, not because I'm not afraid to. I have pretty strong political opinions. You can ask me about them and I'll tell you, just point blank, and I'll be respectful about it, but I'll, hey, this is what I think and why. But I'm not going to do it here, because that's more push-ups. It's not what I want to do. It's not what I want this to be. Everything is so divisive right now, and we're so, polarized. And I want to bring people together. Am I audacious enough to think that I can change the world? Yes. With that ripple effect. I'm going to throw my stones in the pond. I'm going to throw that big rock that I've been working out with. I'm going to smash it into the pond, and hopefully those ripples are going to affect other people, and they're going to ripple out, and we're going to fix this before it gets bad. Because if we don't, it's going to get bad. So I'm not going to talk about politics. We're going to talk about culture, and we're going to talk about philosophy, but we're mostly going to focus on skills. We're mostly going to focus on skills that will help everyone. Where was I? Where I was recapping, sort of. But that's what Thunderpunk Radio is. It's going to be a little manic and sporadic. You're going to watch the channel grow as I get more funding, as I save more money, as I acquire more gear and more people that are into collaborating with me. The videos are going to get better. I'd like to eventually get great cinematography. I'm like a filmmaker at heart, but this is what I feel passionate about. This is what we're doing. This is the way it is from now on, and I'm really excited to take you along in this journey. Thank you for your time. I hope you do your push-ups today. I'm going to be doing a bunch of push-ups probably tomorrow. I'm going to film it, and I'll put it up here. I have a bunch of SHOT Show videos, interviewing cool people. Some of the interviews I'm a little awkward, but I'm still learning how to do this, getting comfortable in front of the camera. So I'm going to start loading those up. The next video you're going to see is going to be me. More push-ups. So many push-ups. It's going to be me interviewing my good buddy, Brody Renner. I think I'm saying his last name right. I hope so. He is a badass and a true American, great family guy, and he designed this cool trigger for Dillon Rifle Company. I think it might be one of their very first products ever. Former SEAL Team 6 guy, DevGru, 10 years experience at one of the most elite levels possible, and he's just a great dude too. He designed this product. I trust him. I think this information should get out to people, so even if I'm awkward in these interviews, we're going to put it out. So we're going to do that one. Then I think we're going to release something from Foztech Arms. Great company, great people. Then we're going to do Mean Arms, or we might do Mean Arms, then Foztech, then Mean Arms. Then I got a bunch of other videos that I'm going to be posting. It's from January. It's from SHOT Show. But I haven't used the footage yet, and it's good information, and those people deserve to get heard. So that's what's next. And then I got interviews. I got some videos I did with Michael Broderick. Fit and Fire and I did a collaboration. We're going to be doing other collaborations with YouTube, Rumble people, and 33 minutes, you guys got stuff to do. You don't want to stick around and listen to me anymore. But this is the intro video. Welcome to Thunderpunk Radio. Thank you for your time. Go do some push-ups. Have a great day.